Now we turn our attention to the semi-finals in the women's 1500 metres. 12 lining up in this first race, 5 to go through to the final as of right, plus 2 fastest losers. Kenzebe Dibaba, the world record holder, goes in the next of the semi-finals. Tatiana Tomashova, she's the championship record holder after wins in 2003 and 2005. And the Russian, at the age of 40, is in this semi-final, having front-ran her heat to ensure she advances. Quality lineup here. Abeba Aragawi is the defending champion, but she's been in up and down form. Laura Waitman of Great Britain doesn't start. She's actually due, or was due, in the second of the semi-finals. So the Briton not competing here this evening. Sifan Hassan, first in Lausanne, second behind Kenzebe Dibaba in that world record attempt. She's a great major championship performer, European champion. Abeba Aragawi, the defending champion, second behind Hassan in the European Championships last year, but she's had a mixed season by her own very high standards. Dawit Sayum, world junior champion, world youth silver medalist. She's had a cracking season. She's gone under 4 minutes for the first time, and she's still only a teenager. Sophia Enoui on the inside, European under-23 silver medalist earlier this year. First semi-final in the women's 1500 metres. What kind of marker will Sifan Hassan put down ahead of the final? She's gone straight to the back. Enoui leads. Bethlehem Desalen from the United Arab Emirates, another one of the expatriated Ethiopians. She's tucked in on the corner, and Nancy Chepkemoi is just on the shoulder of the Polish athlete.
Robury's also up there, the good American, moving through comfortably. There she is on the outside of this group. They're going through at a really slow pace at the moment, so we're bunching up, and that's going to be a problem. There could be 1 or 2 fallers that are not careful here. Remember, it's 5 to qualify. It's not tough qualifications, but if it's a slow race, it will boil down to a bit of a sprint over the last 400 metres, and that was where the problems could occur if they're all bunching.
And remember, it's only the first 5 to advance as of right.
71 that first lap, it's slow. So maybe not many of the fastest losers will go through from this seat, unless this pace has picked up somewhat. It doesn't look as if it is at the moment. Enoui is still there, leading them through, if you can call that, really, on the inside. The small, diminutive Polish athlete. Others are quite happy just to bide their time going behind.
So, Nancy Chepkemoi, world junior bronze medalist 5 years ago. She leads, but it's absolutely pedestrian at the moment. Enoui of Poland is tucked in on the inside, and coming quickly on the outside is Besu Sado, national champion last year for Ethiopia. She looked really good and really sharp in her heat.
I don't think the pace has picked up at all. Remember, it was 71 that first lap. Let's just see what they go through the second lap in. I think it's going to be much faster. They're really saving themselves here for a bit of a burn up over the last 400 metres, if that's the case. It's going to be slower, I think, at this rate.
And still no move from Sifan Hassan, the second fastest woman in the world this year. 73.8 for that last lap. This is jogging, and it's why all of the women in this race are bunched tightly together. And this is where you can begin sometimes to see problems. Shannon Robury now starting to make her presence felt towards the front. Bronze medalist in Berlin in 2009. She was third in that cracking 1500 in Monaco, finally breaking Mary Decker-Slaney's American record, running 3:56. And this is going to come down to a real burn-up over the last 400 metres. And for the first time, Steve, Sifan Hassan running on the outside from the back, straight up to the front, wanting to make sure she stays out of trouble.
Well, she's got to really. This is going to be a very fast last 400 metres. I'm not sure whether she's got leg speed. She seems to have the ability to go fast, but she's really got to start piling on now, because there are some very fast finishers just behind her, and they're all bunching up.
Sifan Hassan is at the front, but they're all still together. That was a little bit quicker, 67.5. Kerry Gallagher of the United States is running well. Seum, the world junior champion, just being barged backwards a little bit there. Hassan, 200 metres to go, still at the front. Gallagher, Seum. Aragawi trying to find a way through on the inside, the defending champion, and she's managed to do so. So it's Sifan Hassan at the moment, then Seum, Aragawi, Robury trying to come wide on the outside. But the Ethiopian and the athlete from the Netherlands coming away. Hassan takes it, Seum in second, Aragawi in third. Fifth, I think, went to Shannon Robury. So most of the big names making it through there. A good run as well from Malika Akakui, who may have come through for fourth, 27 years of age. But that was very impressive from Hassan in the end, because it was a funny old heat. She went from last to first with 4:50 to go and managed to hang on really well.
That's her style, and it was a 57.79 last lap.
Yeah, it had to be, didn't it, really? I mean, 4:15.38. Those first 2 or 3 laps, absolutely pedestrian, really. And I know that a lot of athletes don't like to lead through in these heats, or semis, I should say, to the final, but without taking too much out of themselves. But it really leaves it down to the last 400-metre sprinters almost. And Hassan really did all she had to do. Move through with 500 metres, come to the lead when she hit the bout and just held on.
She's a really good competitor, Hassan. I remember when Dibaba was all set to take on that world record, she said, I'm not going with the second pacemaker. I'm going to try and stay with Genzebe Dibaba, because I don't compete to come second. I compete to win, irrespective of the opponent or the context. And speaking of Genzebe Dibaba, there is the new world record holder over 1,500 metres.
The second of these women's heats now, semi-finals, I should say, coming out. We've watched that. It's a slow race. Now, if they're starting to think clever, they can perhaps maybe push the pace on. And one of the athletes that would probably do that was maybe Tomashova, if she decides to move on.
Decent run there from Aragawi. I know that might sound strange saying that about a defending champion, but bearing in mind the season she's had, that was a competent piece of qualification. But the class was at the front. Sifan Hassan making absolutely sure she will be in Tuesday's final, where she'll be hoping to dethrone the season's top performer, Genzebe Dibaba, who we're about to see in the second of the semi-finals.
The second semi-final of the women's 1,500 metres. Genzebe Dibaba goes in the outside lane. Tomashova, well, that's an interesting athlete. She ran really hard in her heat to qualify. Will she do the same again here, front-running it to try and get, not in the first 5, but maybe if she doesn't make that, one of the fastest losers through. There she is on the outside, Tomashova. Coming out of Colombia, Turzak, Serbia. Europe. Then the very good Kenyan, Faith Kipyego. There she is, Commonwealth record holder and champion at the 1,500 metres. Best time of just over 4 minutes this year. Well, Jenny Simpson, I really do like the way Jenny Simpson runs. She's a very good tactician. She gets herself in all the right places at the right time, and very experienced. And as a result of that, she won the gold in the World Championships in 2011 and silver in 2013. And then the real favourite in this race, Kazembe Dibaba, following in her sister's footsteps, maybe coming home if she makes the final of a gold medal in the 1500 metres. She's running the 5,000 as well. That wonderful world record in Monte Carlo, 3:50.07. As we said in the previous semi-final, the first 5 to qualify. The gun goes. Will Tomashova on the outside go off hard? No, it doesn't look like she is. She's moving through comfortably into the middle of the field. A little bit of bunching going on at the moment, but Simpson of the United States decides that she just wants to get to the front and ease through at the moment. So it's Simpson on the inside. Kostnot just holding her own, really. The big Dutch athlete there, European bronze medalist at 3,000 metres. But the pace again, not fast, Rob.
Well, surely though, Steve, bearing in mind it's 5 to qualify plus 2 fastest losers, surely they'll know that the first heat was won in 4:15, which all of these women are more than capable of producing. So it's in their interest to make sure it's quick, because if they get pushed out of the top 5, top 7 will be good enough to go through, which is over half the field.
Well, you think they would watch that on the in the warm-up area, but we're not sure. Kostnot again taking it through. It may be a shade faster. That was a terribly slow first lap in the previous heat, but this could be close. This is 68, so it's only 3 seconds faster. Corneo, I think it is, of Colombia, coming through now, the new Pan American Games champion at the 1,500 metres, but not really injecting any pace.
But if you remember, Corneo was only rewarded with a place in the semi-finals because she set an early, hard momentum in her heat, knowing that she wasn't going to be capable of out-sprinting the others. And not only did she get a place in the semi-final for her bravery, she set a national record as well.
Well, Corneo, then it's Costa. Johnson on the inside, Simpson on the outside there. Terzic just behind there, and then Pliss on the inside. Coming through on the outside there, Muir of Great Britain. So, still no injection of pace, still waiting and waiting now. Well, I've got a feeling, though, that the likes of someone like Tomashova, who knows that her biggest chance is to push it hard, maybe from about 600 metres out, she might take the lead and try to sort of put the race on a reasonable standard. Going through again. Time is going to be slow, isn't it? Look at that. That's still not very fast at all. 2:20 at the 800 metres. They're spread right across the track. Wojcicka just coming through there. Terzic just on the outside. Wojcicka, I think, will try and move up now. She's quite fast, but she needs to move on. Muir of Great Britain coming through there in second place now. Kostnot just, again, doing all she has to do. She's a 3,000 metre specialist. She really needs to work harder now because there's some very fast women coming up just on her shadow on the inside.
And moving wide on the outside is Faith Kipyegon, the Commonwealth champion. And look who's coming now, just as Sifan Hassan did in the first semi-final. Kazembe Dibaba, the world record holder, going from virtually last to first, and she's got the Commonwealth champion on her shoulder for company.
Time to get serious, isn't it, really? Dibaba now pushing ahead. Just behind her, Kipyegon just holding her own. And then it's Muir. So remember, just 5 to qualify. Dibaba going well. Kipyegon is there. Muir is there. Costa is still holding on. Just behind them in, 5th and 6th is Johnson and Simpson. Dibaba looking good, just cruising ahead at the moment. The Kenyan is shadowing well. Kipyegon looking good. Coming off now with 100 metres or so to go. It's Dibaba cruising ahead, looking so good. Just behind her, Kipyegon, then Muir. Simpson is in 4th. Arifi coming through. Tomashova also coming through. Those 5 at the moment. It's going to be an easy win, or is it? Now they're chasing to the line. Dibaba just wants to keep ahead of the chasing, I suppose, Kipyegon, but in the end, it wasn't really a serious race for her. She just took it easily.
A great run from Dibaba, and the two fastest losers will come from this semi-final. So Hichotska and Tomashova will be joining Genzebe Dibaba and Sifan Hassan in the final. She'll start that final on Tuesday as the overwhelming favourite. Good run from Faith Kipyegon in second place, the Commonwealth champion. But Dibaba here, as we see her move from the back of the pack to the front, Dibaba's in a class of her own at the moment, and how she wants and needs a global outdoor title to go along with that world record.
She's a very fast runner, actually. Turunesh is slightly built, but you can see here that Genzebe is more powerful. She's got that acceleration. She showed that with about, at the 500-metre mark when she moved right through the field very quickly indeed and held them all off at bay.
Good run from Great Britain's Laura Muir. She's developing into a fine athlete and a good tactician, actually, finishing in third. Arafi coming through quickly for fourth. Jennifer Simpson, a gold medalist 4 years ago, a silver medalist 2 years ago. She also will join her compatriot Shannon Robury in the final. So two good Americans will line up against Genzebe Dibaba, but they will all be second favourites to the Ethiopian, who looks in untouchable form from what we've seen this season and from what we've seen tonight.
Can't argue with that, can you? Here she goes. Watch this acceleration. It's been slow up until here. She knows that she's got to get to the front for the bell, really, to make sure that she's got a clean run. Sweeps around Muir and Costa on the inside. Looking up, as always, at the scoreboard. As Rob said, Kipyegon really did a good race to try and hold her all the way to the line, but you've got a feeling that Dibaba was just looking up, doing enough. Fastest of the two semi-finals by far, really. So a great deal, as Rob has said, of these fastest losers will come through from this particular semi.
Well, Tomashova and Hichotska both making it, so 7 of the 12 starters will return for Tuesday's final. Genzebe Dibaba keen to get some bragging rights on the Dibaba Christmas Day dining table.
Long way to go yet, I think, but nevertheless a great run from her. There she is, the qualifying time there, 4:06.74. Kipyegon running well behind. Then also, as you said, Laura Muir doing very well, coming through in third. Arafi finished fast, and then Simpson did all she had to do really to qualify in 5th place. Tomashova and Hichotska, those two important places after that to qualify. Final result of the qualifiers there. Wonderful run from Dibaba, obviously getting the fastest time. All the way down to Shannon Robury with that 4:16.64.